Endurance Junkie Podcast, episode 16. Hey Junkie, what's up? And thank you for joining me for episode 16 of the Endurance Junkie Podcast, the show where I will be interviewing some of the fastest, smartest, and most inspiring people active in the endurance world today. Joining me now is Jonathan Albon, and Jonathan is mostly known in the up-and-coming obstacle course racing scene. Now, besides obstacle course racing, or OCRs, Jonathan enjoys ultra running and orienteering and cross-country skiing. He's traveled all around the world to compete, winning races such as the Helteløpet in Norway and recently the Spartan World Championships in Vermont, USA. Jonathan, thanks for taking the time to chat here today. For those of us who don't know you, can you tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into obstacle course racing?
My name's Jonathan Albon. I'm 25. I started obstacle racing, I guess my first event was in 2011. But before that, I used to play skater hockey. On quitting that, I just wanted to sort of stay fit, so I took up running, entered into Tough Guy, an obstacle race in the UK. I really enjoyed it, and then just sort of started entering into more and more. So.
How long have you been running before doing that Tough Guy race?
Properly, not really, to be honest. It's sort of like 1 or 2 runs a week, just as you do, just to stay fit.
Okay.
So I don't really come from a running background.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed running, and I've always been generally quite fit. So.
Yeah. And how did you enter that Tough Guy competition? Were you challenged by someone?
I saw a small newspaper clip about it in a local newspaper, and I knew a friend that had done it about a year before. So sort of as soon as you've had a friend do something like that and they've proved how tough they are, I guess I entered myself to see if I could have a go. And it was really fun. I got really, really cold, but managed to complete. It wasn't so much a race, more about just sort of completing it. But I guess a lot of the obstacle races I've done lately have been more about times than just completion.
Yeah, cool. Now, for the ignorance, like myself, because I come from a pure triathlon background, can you tell us a bit more about the distances of these obstacle races and the type of obstacles that you guys have to negotiate?
Well, the distances, they can range from anywhere sort of 5 to 20k, and then upwards of that to the full marathon, and then even there's 24-hour events where you do as many laps as possible in 24 hours. So really, every single event's going to be different, and then. Yeah, every event's going to be different in the sense of obstacles as well. There's never really a set format or a set type of obstacle. It's just you can be doing a lot of crawling, a lot of in and out of water, a lot of going over walls, monkey bars, jumping over stuff, going under stuff. It's just whatever the event organisers can plan and get into their race to make it fun.
Do you have an idea of the obstacles that you have to negotiate before you go into a race, or is that kept secret to you guys?
In some events it's kept secret, but very often the brand of obstacle race will have their own types of obstacles, such as Spartan race. They even have a spear throw. They have a lot of carrying heavy things, so you're going to be carrying sandbags, you're going to be lifting up atlas stones and things. You'll be jumping over walls and barbed wire as well. And then another event might be less carrying stuff and more just that everyone could do it sort of thing. So you're just sort of in and out of ditches and use more natural obstacles.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, because I heard that Joe Desane, a guy from Spartan, he's really into strength, and it would be cool to have him on the show as well. Now, when looking at your website, jonathanalbon.com, and I'll put a link to it in the show notes, you've been pretty successful pretty quickly, even winning the second race that you've entered. Now we're 4 years on. You've raced a lot of races. You've won a lot of them. I think you're undefeated this year. How has the sport developed in your eyes, and what do you look for when entering an event?
I think really I've seen it go from the first event I did was Tough Guy, and there weren't really any other events around at the time. And then in that 4-year period, we've gone from having just one event brand to now it being basically a worldwide sport, especially a lot of stuff coming over from America now. And I mean, within a 3-hour drive of London every weekend, you can do up to 2 to 3 events. So it's really gone from nothing to everything. So that's great to see because it is really a fun sport.
How about the competitors? Is it that's growing as well, I presume?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there weren't really, up until this year, there weren't really organised teams. It was all just sort of single competitors. But this year's really seen our team, Innovate OCR, and other teams such as RPCC Elite. We've gone to town, we've got sponsors, we're now racing against each other in really heated battles just about every weekend. So really, we've kick-started the competitive side of things as well, which is great.
But it remains an individual sport. I mean, even if it's team-based, it's not that you have like domestiques or something that can...
No, but very often it is individual, but there are some events nowadays where you do run as teams.
Okay.
We've done enduro events where you sort of like pass the baton and then the next person goes, or there's team events such as the one coming up in called Judgment Day in December, where you're going to be running around as a team and you're going to be carrying things as a team, and you're only as fast as your slowest person.
Mm, cool. What has been your most memorable race so far?
I would have thought out of all the obstacle races I've done, I guess the first Nuts Challenge I did. So Nuts Challenge is a 7-kilometre assault course. You do 4 laps. Well, some people do 4 laps. I've always chosen to do 4 laps, but you can do 1, 2, 3 or 4. And the first year I did it, I had never run that distance before, let alone doing obstacles at the same time. And it was epic fun. It was really great.
And most disappointing?
Most disappointing, I don't know if you could call it an obstacle race, but I did go to the USA, take part in something called the Spartan Death Race.
Yeah.
Which turns out to be something along the lines of sort of like a survival run where they make you do challenges.
Yeah.
So
this is a multi-day event, right?
Yeah. I didn't manage to complete that, so I DNF'd after 48 hours.
Ouch.
Yeah. That was quite disappointing. And also in the same year, I also DNF'd the Nuts 4 laps as well in the winter version.
Yeah.
So I got pulled out with hypothermia because I started going to sleep on the course. So that was quite disappointing.
So going a bit deeper into that death race, can you talk a bit more about that? Because it's 48 hours that you DNF. So what kind of stuff that you have to do, and what made you DNF?
I think it's quite a special event in they can make you do whatever they want you to. One of the main things you end up doing is a lot of chores and a lot of yard work to begin with, just to wear all the competitors down. So at the beginning, we dug a French ditch. We did a lot of burpees. We built a stone staircase from the bottom of sort of, call it a mountain, to the top. As a team, the 300 competitors that had entered, we built this stone staircase. So that really wore us down in the first 24 hours. And then we cut a lot of wood. We carried a lot of stones. And then moving into the second day, we did a very long hike over a mountain pass at night, and then got to do a 3-mile swim. And then that's where my feet sadly let me down, and I got a bit of trench foot. So I DNF'd there. I knew I'd never make it back over the mountain pass with my boulder that we had to carry. Mm. So that was it. I tried to do part of the swim anyway because I didn't so much need to stand on my feet for that, but got very cold in the water and knew I was done anyway. So that was it. I was out.
We've got some unfinished business there, or is that over and done?
Yeah. It was quite a special event. Thinking back to it, I took a lot from the event. I'd like to go back, but then some of the more racing type events suit me as an athlete anyway. So I did go back last weekend, but it was to compete in their obstacle race as opposed to the death race.
Yeah. So that was the Spartan World Championship, right?
Yes.
That was a 20K event, or?
Yeah, I think it turned out to be something along the lines of 26.
Okay. Now, how many elites are there on the starting line then?
Oh, I can't even remember. I think it was between 300 and 600, I think. I'm not sure. That's males and females, yeah. But
is that the sort of the same thing as for example, qualifying for Ironman Kona? Do you have to qualify, or just can anybody enter?
I'm not sure if you had to. I think you have to qualify to be an elite, definitely, but you can also take part in the course anyway, as a normal person just wants to enter just to have a go at the course. So different to Kona in that way, but definitely to get in the elite wave, you do have to prove yourself in some way.
Cool. Now, are you a full-time athlete, or do you have a job?
I call me a full-time athlete at the moment. If you sort of, because I haven't got a job, I'm currently unemployed because I've just moved to Norway. So I've been in Norway for about 2 to 3 months. And I've kind of used this time to train and just to sort of get settled and to sort of, get in the way of life of the Norwegians as opposed to sort of having to go straight into work.
Yeah. But you were working when you were living in the UK. Because a question I got a lot from listeners here is, how do you, like as an elite amateur, as I can call you then, how do you combine your work with your training? Because I think, like triathletes, besides a lot of running, I'm guessing you're spending quite a lot of time in the gym or in the pool as well. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with time management. How does that work for you?
Well, I was quite lucky that in my old job we had a nice shower, so a lot of my exercising turned into my commute, or my commute turned into my exercising. So I lived about 17 kilometres from work. I'd either run or cycle that to and from work every day, and that meant I could add on another hour's session in the evening doing what I wanted to. So I got my base miles done commuting to and from work, and then added on an extra session in the evening.
Cool. And what does a typical training week look like for you?
At the moment, I think I'm running something between 300 to 350 kilometres in a month. Okay. With some cycling on top, but not as much time spent cycling. And then
is that just CrossFit training or something? Just
or started CrossFit since
low impact aerobical exercise.
Yeah. So circuit training mainly. So call it CrossFit or just doing circuits in a park. Where, however you want to do it, strength training is going to benefit your cycling and your running anyway. But also it's very needed for obstacle racing because there are a lot more strength elements, especially other things such as swimming, bouldering or climbing. All of these things will all really benefit you. But then I think just about any exercise will benefit obstacle racing because it's a sport that uses every single part of your body, every single muscle. It's just to be the best obstacle racer, I guess you've just got to be the fittest person that can do just about anything.
But you can't really train specifically for these obstacles?
You can do in some obstacle races that have very set obstacles, such as Spartan. You know there's going to be a spear throw, so you can go and throw a spear around quite a lot, or you know there's going to be sandbag carries, so you can grab a sandbag and carry it up some hills. So in that sense, you can train for certain obstacle races, but in order to sort of dominate all obstacle races, it's just literally about being the fastest you can be and the strongest you can be at the same time.
Now, I got a question coming in from Twitter, and this one was submitted by Adam Gibson, who's, I think, a head coach at Greenlight PT in UK. And he wants to know what your most important training session of the week is.
Most important, I'd probably say the one that I enjoy the most, because I love to train, I love to run. So, and as long as I enjoy it, I'm going to do more of it. So I guess at the moment, the most enjoyable session I have is probably a long mountain run where I get to really just get up into the mountains, switch off and just run just for the sake of running. So call it training, but it's more just about enjoying myself.
So you don't really have a set training program?
I kind of wake up in the morning and kind of think what I'm going to do that day. So I don't really sit down with a calendar and plan out a month.
So it just depends on what time you got on your hands and what do you feel like doing?
At the moment, yeah, I might plan the next day, the night before, but apart from that, it's just about what races are coming up, what I need to work on, and then just go out and get it done.
Mm-hmm. Is that, I'm guessing that must be stunning when you can do that in Norway.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place to run.
Yeah, where are you now? Is it Bergen? Is that it?
Yeah, Bergen.
Yeah, cool. All right, now, what are your top 3 tips for people who want to give obstacle course racing a try? And, feel free to give more if you have more.
Top 3, I guess first one would be to have fun, because it is all about having fun, and the more fun you have, the more you're going to do it and the fitter you're going to get. So you can't take it too seriously. I mean, there's things like slides and you're going to get muddy and whatnot. So you can't go there with a serious race face. You've got to have fun as well, which is great to see that in a sport, even when it is competitive. And then to be a good obstacle racer, I'd put running over strength. So firstly, they're mainly running-based events, so being a good runner is important. And to become a good runner, you just got to run more, really. Mm-hmm. And then after that, it'd be the strength side of things, so doing things like circuits, bouldering for your finger strength, that side of things next, just to sort of build that strength and to make you be able to overcome walls or make you be able to do monkey bars and things.
Cool. All right. Now, how can people follow you or get in touch with you?
I've got my own website now, so you can go to www.jonathanalbon.com and see everything I'm up to, what races I'm about to take part in, results of my previous races and things. And then I get a lot of messages through Facebook as well, asking questions, so anyone's more than welcome. I'll try to get back to them.
Right, cool. I'll put those links up in the show notes. What will 2015 look like for you?
2015, I haven't really thought that far ahead yet. I know there's a double ice skating marathon that I was entered in for this year, but it was cancelled because all the ice melted. So I think I've definitely got unfinished business there, so I might get back and complete that. I definitely won't be racing that. That'll be more about me going to complete and just have fun. I also like to do a lot of mountain running and a lot of orienteering. So I've got some races planned on that side of things that I want to do. One in particular is the Dragon's Back, which is quite a mental challenge, and that's one that if I complete that in my lifetime, I'll be very proud of myself.
What's that one?
That's quite a big one. So what is that? It's sort of like the Marathon des Sables, but in Wales.
The Marathon des Sables in Wales, okay. All right. You've got some sponsors you want to give some love to?
Yeah, well, my main sponsor is Innovate, so I'd like to say thanks to them for all the gear. I mean, it's the best gear you can get, really. I think I owe a lot of my victories to wearing the Innovate Cross Talon 212 shoes.
Are these shoe manufacturers?
Yes,
okay.
as well as clothing as well,
okay.
And packs and accessories. So
purely focused on obstacle course racers, or
no, they're born from fell running, so they're sort of like a mountain running type brand. But that gear is perfect for obstacle racing as well as orienteering, and now they're branching into the CrossFit side of things as well. So that's a great company to be a part of, and I'm really pleased to have them as a sponsor because I generally do love the stuff, and I don't think I'd be sponsored by them otherwise.
Any other ones?
Yeah, we've also got Compress Sport for compression gear, Cliff Bar for nutrition, and that stuff's great because I mean, foods are expensive here in Norway. I think I end up having 2 or 3 Cliff Bars a day to keep me going. Mm-hmm. And then also Dry Robe, which not many people would have heard of, but it's a great changing robe. So once you're done racing, you can chuck your dry robe on, take your clothes off, and no one's going to see you and get changed.
Oh, okay.
It's quite important for obstacle racing because you can often finish very cold and very wet.
Yeah. Okay, something that might be useful for triathletes as well. But
definitely, yeah, that's something else it was designed for.
Although most of them don't have any shame, so they just change wherever they see fit. Talking about Cliff Bars and nutrition, how does that work when you do these obstacle course races? Because you said it yourself, you get muddy, you get wet. How do you deal with nutrition?
I guess it depends on the length of the race, but normally I'm a fan of gels, so carry as many gels as I can. Normally one every 20 minutes or 30 minutes for a longer race. Some races are lapped, so you can have a lot of stuff waiting on a table, so you can grab it then. But it's really just about carrying what you can.
So in theory, you have to be self-sufficient.
Yeah, that's where some of Innovate's gear is so lightweight and sort of tight-fitting to your body, you can't even tell that you're wearing it. So for the Spartan World Championships, I wore their Race Ultra 1 sort of bum bag type thing. And in that, I had a 500ml bottle of water, and then it also held about 10 gels. Mm-hmm. So that was great.
All right, cool. Well, this really looks like a fun thing to do, and I guess for a lot of athletes who are tired of just running marathons or doing triathlons, obstacle course racing is definitely something they can look into. Right,
definitely. I definitely think it's one of the best fitnesses to strive towards because you have got to be both strong and a good runner. So
yeah, cool. Anything else you want to plug?
No, I think I'm all good. Thank you very much for this. It was fun.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for your time, John. I will be definitely keeping an eye on you, and maybe we can talk again soon.
Awesome. Cheers.
Cheers, man.